get you fly clothes, etc. But then when you look at it, you say, hold up. But it really ain't no real money out there in
Right.
that lifestyle. The money you get always get taken from you, go back to lawyers. And the risk and reward factors don't balance out. The money you get always get taken from you, go back to lawyers. And the risk and reward factors balance out. The money you get taken from you, go back to lawyers.
I'm sorry, guys. Hold on 1 minute. I'm getting a lot of
the
feedback.
risk and reward factors.
All right, there we go.
Okay, so yeah, the risk and reward factor doesn't balance out. So
Right.
the reward might be, say if you're doing your thing and you gonna make probably $100,000 this month or next month or whatever.
Right.
The risk is you really facing a life sentence for $100,000, and that don't add up. Because you could have a job and make $100,000 in a year or two, or maybe 3, right? So just using common sense, we got to figure out how does this work, and what's the risk and the reward, and is it worth it? And once you ask yourself, is it worth it? You got to come to that conclusion, and most time the conclusion gonna be like, it ain't worth it.
It ain't worth it. Yeah.
You know.
I'm really believing that our youth have those role models. And it is, and when you say like you said, it's not rocket science, right? But when we look at about healing, right, is I really feel like for me, because like you said, is easy, right? Is you have to get tired of it. But one of the things I think is also important, because my background is education. I spent 20 years in the classroom with children. And it's that area of competence in my mind, right? I feel like, being competent in the area and having something that you feel like, this is my niche, I can do this, that hopeless thing of, being beat up and not just beat up physically, but mentally and emotionally, and even in the educational system, youth who are called out to read, knowing they can't read and thinking that is a way to push them to do, so I've seen all kinds of situations. So I am just grateful, because one of the things I realize is that, some people don't get it. You spoke about what the young lady, her dad went in. One of my stories is my brother, who I visited in jail. I would go visit my brother and my daughter's father at the same time. And my brother went in when he was 19 and was sentenced to 25 to life, but he ended up doing 30. Most of that down LORTON until they closed in 2000. But when he came home, he passed away, came home addicted to drugs, and passed away like 2 years later, So I'm saying that to say, a lot of people just don't make it out, and I'm grateful for those who do make it out, because it's an example of someone like my son. I have a son who I used to take to go visit down there, and then he turned around and caught his first charge when he was 12 and been in and out of the system. He's 28 now, and thank God he's been home. The longest he's been home since he was 12 was a year. And it's going on 2 years now. So I'm just grateful to God, because I feel like he's tired. Like you said, we just get tired. Like, look, enough is enough. Like, those were lessons, and I can use those to build, right? So with your film and the work that you're doing in film, what do you see in the future? Like you said, LORTON, you was talking about doing a part 2.
So actually,
like forward, and just being able to pick up the pieces. Before you say that, I just wanted to speak really quickly on that, because those who are out there doing it, I want to just give them a big ups, because it's not easy. So you are one of them, and just want to give a shout out to others who are able to keep moving and use that to flip it. So go ahead.
And going back to that too, I understand the frustration, because I know that until you find your niche, you're gonna go through a lot of frustrations, because you end up being like a boat that's in the water, that whichever way the wind blows, that's where you end up.
Yeah.
So the hardest part for most people is that frustration of finding what you really love to do. And it's almost like it's really a brain exercise, no different from working out extra hard. You got to work your brain so hard to really find out what you really love to do, because if you don't find what you love to do, then you end up doing a bunch of stuff that you really don't love, and all you end up doing is being more frustrated. All right. So I always that's why I mostly tell young people, is try to find out what you love to do. What is it that you really love to do? Matter of fact, just recently I was talking to a young guy, and he was going through that frustration. He was going through it like, man, because he was kind of giving me my props, like, man, I love that you found something that you love to do and you do it. Because at the end of the day, it got to be the things that you love to do. It's got to be something that you're willing to do for free, right? It can't be something that you're chasing money, right? So just like the basketball player that goes on that court, and he could play basketball all day, every day, and don't get a penny from it because he loved that game. He loved that sport. He put it all into it. So once you start getting some money, then it's a different level. So anyway, when I was talking to the young guy, he was dealing with that frustration. He couldn't figure out what he loved to do, So I sat him down. I was like, man, it got to be something that you love to do. He was like, it ain't nothing. I can't figure it out. And I know some people figured out at 10. Some people figured out at 25. So sometimes it takes you 40 and 50 years old to figure it out, what you really love to do. But anyway, when he figured out, when we sat down and talked, he said, man, you know what? The only thing I really love to do is read bedtime stories to my children. So I say, there it is. He said, what you mean? I said, if you like reading bedtime stories to your children, how about you start writing bedtime stories for your children? He was like, dang, that's a good idea. So he's about to publish his first book for children.
Wow. Right.
So I understand when people go through that frustration, because I went through it for a long time myself. You know, and a lot of times people tell you what you can be doing, because sometimes you don't see it in yourself. Right. You know, somebody will come to you and say, man, Beverly, man, the stuff you doing, you know what you should do? You should be a so-and-so. And you might just dismiss it, right? Yeah, whatever. And then somebody else might come to you and say, man, you could be a so-and-so.
Right.
And then one day you look into it and be like, you know what? Look into this, and you figure out, like, damn, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So filmmaking, to a certain extent, came to me gradually, because I was always an artist. Since I was a child, I draw a lot. I used to draw a lot, right? And I used to come up with designs, and I used to design T-shirts, and everybody knew me. Everybody knew me as a good artist, even when I was on the streets wilding out. Everybody knew I was real creative and I was a real good artist. So I went to prison. I went to prison in '89 as a juvenile. And then when I came home in '94, right? I came home in my early 20s, probably like 23. Bunch of wild stuff happened. Shit went crazy, and I went right back in. So I was over DC jail, and I was over DC jail wilding out also. You know, I was over there fighting and stabbing and just going like I ain't even care about nothing at the time. And one day this dude came from LORTON, an old timer came from LORTON. He came up DC jail to go back to court. And he was like, man, he said, young man, you be in here wilding out. And I heard about you. I heard you're a good artist. I got something for you. He gave me a box of crayons. And ain't nobody in DC jail had no crayons. You know, that people in LORTON had it, but they allowed him to bring his property up to DC jail. So he gave me the box. He gave me the box of crayons. Man, it's like he gave me $1 million.
Wow.
I took that box of crayons in my cell, and I started drawing on my walls. And you're not supposed to draw on your walls in the jail. But I started drawing on my walls with a pencil and then coloring it in with the crayons.
Wow.
And the police used to come past my cell and look, and they'd be like, because I was calm and I wasn't causing any trouble, they was like, just go ahead, just leave him alone.
Right.
So after about a couple months, my whole cell was painted, was colorful with artwork, filling up from the ceiling to the floor, even by the toilet. And everybody used to come in my cell and just sit there and just look at it. It was like a film, like a movie storyboard going on, right? And it was all colorful.
Okay.
So my cell became the cell that everybody wanted to come to because everybody's cells is all white, but my cell is colorful and pretty and artwork, and the police wasn't bothering it.
All right.
So the police used to come to my cell, walk in the cell, and look at it themselves. Be like, man, this is incredible, man. You need to focus on your art, man. What the fuck is you doing this wild, crazy stuff? So one day the warden came in there, from the one who ran DC jail at the time. The officers had told him about it. And he came to my cell. He said, young man, you're not supposed to have nothing on the cell. We might have to paint over this. But he was joking. And then he came in the cell. He's like, man, you got a real talent. You need to really cultivate that talent. You weren't supposed to be in here.
All right.
And I took it, I listened. And I was like, sometimes it just go from one ear to the other. Everybody's telling you this, telling you that. You're like, yeah, okay. But I need to get some money. I don't want to hear all that. I need some money.
All right.
You know what I mean? But anyway, when I finally came home on my last bit, when I got tired, I finally came back. I said, you know what?
Lorton? When was the last time you was in Lorton?
I came home from Lorton right before it closed in 2001.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in 2001, but I went back to prison after that.
Okay.
Right, and I came home in 2011. But this time Lorton was closed, so I was in the federal system.
Okay.
So that's when I got tired in 2011. So I'm gonna tell you the story how I really got tired though. Check this out. So I went to Hope Village in 2011, right? I was in a halfway house. But I've been in that halfway house before. So I'm in a halfway house. I'm 39 years old now. And I'm in a room with a bunch of 18-year-olds.
Wow.
And I'm looking at them like, damn. When I was their age, I was in here. And now I'm 39 and I'm in the same place.
Wow.
This don't make sense. Right? So they all, all the young dudes, they coming to me, man. They like, twin, man, we love what you do, man. This one I'm in the streets banging though. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm a crash dummy because I'm triple their age or double their age, and I'm in the same position they are.
Right.
So even though they looking up to me, I'm saying to myself, you shouldn't even be looking up to me. I'm the wrong person to be looking up at. I'm in the same position you in.
Yeah.
For real, you should be looking down on me. Right? So then I asked the people at the halfway house, can I get a laptop? To do some research. I wanted to tighten my mind up and get my mind together. They say, no, you can't get no laptop, but you could get an Xbox. I say, Xbox? I'm about to be 40 years old. What do I need with an Xbox? I want to get on the internet. They say, no, you can't use no internet in here, but you can use you can play video games. I was like, that's serious.
Wow.
You want me, a grown man, everybody in this halfway house is grown men that's trying to get their life together, but you want us to play video games. So I ended up getting an Xbox. I went in and got an Xbox just to occupy the time in it. And I'm in there playing Xbox with a bunch of 18-year-olds. And I'm saying to myself, nah, this ain't it.
Yeah. So
that was that breaking point right there. I was like, yeah, I can't go back to the hustle. Wow. I can't go back to doing that because it's no way in the world I'm gonna be back in this halfway house at 50 years old or 55 years old or 60 years old, still around a bunch of teenagers, acting like I'm a hell of a dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I had to tighten up. It took, but like I say, for some people, they find themselves at 15, 20 years old, 30 years old. It took me all the way to my late 30s to really figure out what I really wanted to do.
Right. Yeah. Man, that's powerful. It was so many nuggets in that right there, for real, to be honest, because we already know how the system is not built for us to actually be self-sufficient in the win, but for us to be dependent. And them giving you that Xbox was like, man, my son went over there a couple of times and he's severely allergic to peanuts. And they kept giving him peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. All they was giving, it was crazy stuff that was going on over there. It's closed now, and it's a lot going on. But that right there, and just your story is just so remarkable to go from, like you said, to even be in that mindset. Because a lot of people, it takes a lot to pull away from that love that you get even from that, because that is home, really. Because those some people take that, oh, well, I can get them in the streets and I can get them to work and I can stay here. You know, they still try their hand. So, you know, just really clapping you up and everybody else out there who is really just turning their back to that and really showing them, like, you know, I'm not going to tell you too much, but I can show you. And that is much respect.
And I tell people all the time that the people that hustle is no different from the user. Both of them are addicts.
Yeah.
You know, you get addicted to that lifestyle. So when you leave in that lifestyle, you go through them same withdrawals that an addict go through, because it's calling you. It keep calling you to come back and calling you to come back. And if you don't fight it, you're going to end up in the same positions. I was an addict pretty much. I was addicted to the streets. You know, the same thing I was selling. What I was selling to the person that was using it, I wasn't no different from the person I was selling it to.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's all commerce, you know, as it relates to, you know, what I truly believe is for us. You know, I feel like the lack of money is the root of all evil. You know, it's so important for us. You know, you need money to eat, to, you know, to live. So, you know, I think, you know, it's so important for us to be able to, like you said, translate the things that we love to do and you know, monetize it. And that's something that I love to do with people as I talk to them, because it's so easy, especially with the internet. It's like, come on, like, you know, you have so many people that will like, you know, just you sitting there looking at them, right? So why not put something in there that you can monetize that's not even work? I always tell them what's not work for you. You know, what would you do that you will, you know, not have to get paid to do?
Right.
And
The things that you love to do.
Yeah, the thing that you love to do, that's where you know, where your treasures are, you know, where your heart is, that's where your treasure. And it's so important for us to, you know, really go within and find those things that's really on our heart, that feels like I heard Oprah say it's like breathing. You know, it just comes so natural. It's like, ooh, this is, child, I can do that. I ain't nothing. You know what I mean? Like you said, like it's not rocket science, but it is if you feel like it has to be. A lot of times I feel like that could be the barrier, because people feel like it just got to be hard. Like, no, like if it's something that you love to do, it will come to you, you know, and especially if you feel that it's for you. I think we also have to get out our way of knowing that what you want wants you. And knowing that it's for you, if you just relax and do what comes natural, then it will definitely flow as it relates to partnership and finances and, you know, all those great things. So
and most times you just gotta clear your mind, because all our minds are so good, you know. So you just gotta clear your mind sometimes and just sit back and just meditate and let things come to you, because you got so much things going on up here that can't nothing get in. You know, you got something going on over here, something going on here. Man, you gotta clear all that. You know what I'm saying? Turn on some Sade music and put on a candle and just relax.
Exactly. I'm telling you, that aromatherapy is so important, and finding your zen, you know. So and just I have to bring my sister Kevette on as it relates to finances. And but I want to get this last question out, minding your business. And I know we talked a lot about that, like you said, staying focused, and speak a little bit on that, because I know you kind of already answered it in my mind when you saying, like, you know, light the candle and those kinds of things. But when you think about minding your business in this time, what comes to mind?
It depends on which way, because you know you got to mind your business. The whatever's going on is none of your business type of mind your business.
It can be dangerous.
And then you got the other mind your business, to where you just you focus on yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you got to focus on yourself. So, because we live in a society that tells you that you should always be doing something. If you're not doing something, then you lazy, or you bullshitting, right? You should always be doing something. That's what society tells us. But in reality, sometimes when you're not doing nothing, it's doing something.
Right.
When you sit back and relax, you are doing something. You recharging.
Exactly.
You know, you got to recharge. You got to recharge. You got to give your brain some time to rest and open up those spaces that allow all these other things to come in, the creativity to come in. And you could, you know what I mean? Because we all got a bunch of stuff going on. I mean, that's just life, you know. But if you don't allow nothing to get in, then your whole life is going to be based on a bunch of clutter. So it's going to be like you know, like how your house could get real junky if you don't focus and put things in the right place. You know, You could take off your shoes at the door and just kick it to the side, or you could take off your shoes and line it up perfectly.
Right.
So, mind your business. I would say on that level, I would say to get your mind right on your business.
That's what's up. That's what's up, Karim. I am excited about the film life for DC. Like I said, we have DC Film Life, and it's really about like you said, being creative, and that can be in so many different ways that we can tap into connecting. Because we can only take ourselves but so far. We got to connect with people that can take us to the next level, those like-minded people. But the only way to do that, I've been in a season of just really doing a lot of shit, and it hasn't even been like purposeful, but it's just literally been happening. And I'm excited about it. It's like, it's okay, guys. Like, change is inevitable. It's important to embrace it and understand that all things are working for your good, no matter what it looks like, as long as your energy is pointing in the right direction, and as long as you are not really putting out negative energies to hurting anyone, is how I feel, and what I just got from you as it relates to minding your business. So thank you so much, Karim. I'm excited about what's up next, and I'm glad that everybody is enjoying the film. I wanted to come and see it again, so next time it's showing, I definitely want to come out and bring some people. I've been like really in the shell, and like you said, just staying away from people. So, but by June, I'm gonna be back, and because you said now tell everybody before you go where we can when the next time it's gonna show. You
okay. Yeah, it's tentative right now, but we're putting together to show it at the Arc in June.
Southeast.
So hopefully that should go through, and
I'm excited.
We actually have a date for the 20, I believe it's the 25th, but I don't want to stamp it all the way until everything is in place, but we still should be for the 25th. And
25th.
Yeah. So right now, I'm also not streaming anything right now, but I just finished a behind the scenes video about the LORTON documentary, and I finished editing that yesterday. So we're gonna stream that within the next few days.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So look, did I make the behind the scenes? Look.
No, hey, look, we got some wild footage when we was actually down LORTON filming, and some little wild stuff.
Yeah. So a lot of LORTON. Okay, well, I can't. Well, everybody, make sure y'all stay tuned. Karim, he got some other films. Look, just go on YouTube, right? Go on YouTube. That's what I go on YouTube and type in Karim Mowatt, and all kinds of amazing films is going to show up. Award.
It's on Amazon. It's on Amazon Prime also. Yeah, it's if you type in my name on Amazon Prime also, films will come up, and YouTube also. You type in my name, and I got a bunch of stuff that I put up there.
Awesome. All right, brother Karim, I'm excited. And definitely everybody who's watching, make sure that you all stay tuned for upcoming projects from brother Karim. And if you are someone who is maybe on the wrong road, make sure you do that. Go flip it, right?
Yeah.
All right, Karim. Well, thank you so much.
Take care.
All right, now blessings.
All right.
And now we have Miss Kevette on. Yes. They're gonna keep that. Hi, Kevette. How are you?
I'm fabulous. Thank you. It's so great to be here. Thank you so much, Beverly.
Oh my gosh, Kevette. It's so such a pleasure to have you on, and for being patient with me, and just everything that you do. So tell everybody who you are, and what everyone can look forward to.
Yes, ma'am. Well, first and foremost,
I don't want to spill the beans. I don't want to spill the beans. I'm gonna let you talk about it.
Yes. Well, I'll introduce myself first, but I do want to say thank you for your participation in my upcoming events that we're going to talk about today, and for having me here today as a guest. It's such an honor and a privilege to be able to share this information. And so for those of you who don't know me, I am Kevette Minor Kane. I am your financial liberation expert, CEO and founder of MarimorLife Mindset and Money Management. And so what I do is guide my clients on their journey to self-sufficiency by teaching them about how our emotions affect our money management so that they're able to make better decisions, create better habits, and experience a greater quality of life. I do that by hosting workshops and seminars online. And then I serve my clients through financial planning, business strategy, and mindset coaching.
Oh my goodness. That is Black girl magic right there. And has such an amazing spirit, such just the energy. We haven't met in person, but just talking on the phone, and we met through Donnie Glover.
Met through Black USA, absolutely. Last year, a little earlier than this. Yes, we've known each other for over a year.
Just super excited about being able to share this information that you have. Golf, right, to our youth.
Yes.
We have this golf drive to thrive, and financial literacy. So talk a little bit about what that looks like when, because I know your population is female. So talk a little bit about what that experience is for you and the importance of sharing financial literacy.
Okay. Well, you spoke about a couple of things with your last guest, and they've kind of resonated with me. I love, first and foremost, that your mission is to support people in healing through their traumas. What I focus on in my practice through the emotional intelligence is money trauma and financial abuse, helping people to identify and then understand how to heal through that process.
Yeah.
Because those are the abuses and the traumas that normally go ignored. Because they're not more prominent. It's the emotional and the mental abuse, but understand that everything has a financial consequence. So whether it is a negative result or a reward in that, factor. But we have to take into consideration how it affects us financially, because then that allows us either the freedom or it holds us back from being able to make progress.
Yeah.
And so that's where I come in to educate people and to encourage them and to empower, because I come from that place. I've dealt with my own money traumas, my own financial abuse, had to come over the circumstances and situations for myself, had to work through that healing, understanding the grieving process, and then being able to overcome rather than being overwhelmed. And so that's where this opportunity comes together, where we have been, reconnected this year. In the golf drive, because I decided that for my birthday, I'm going to give money. Yes, girl. So I'm going to be I'm actually celebrating my birthday all month. But I wanted to this year. Thank you. Right. I wanted to think of how could I give back to my community, because I'm so grateful for the progress that I've been able to make over the past few years. It's been such a blessing for me. There's so many lessons that I've learned. And so I said, well, how can I give back? I said, there's nonprofit organizations that I'm affiliated with that I want to be able to support. And so I wanted to give back to all three nonprofits in the areas where I serve, because I'm licensed as a life and health insurance agent here in DC, in Maryland, and in Virginia. And so I chose a nonprofit from each area that would be a recipient of the donated funds. And so I work with, each of these organizations. I know you and I have in the past even put together some things for financial education, and we're looking forward to moving into the future with that as well. I serve as the financial education coordinator for a nonprofit in Virginia. And then I'm affiliated with an organization here in Maryland, the foundation that is a part of the initiative, because they actually were the first ones to give me support when I was able to come back. Didn't really have a whole lot going on, just starting my business literally, and she offered me a table at one of her events to promote my financial education. And so that to me is where we have to stick together from the grassroots. We have to be able to support one another in these amazing initiatives that we all have. This drive, as you said, this drive to thrive, it is about transforming our lives, and demonstrating to others how they're able to transform in that process, and so that is the absolute, bonus for me. So what you have on the screen right now is where folks can go to my website and get information about the golf drive coming up. There are an opportunity for people to register to play golf with us. Or if you just want to be a spectator and join the birthday party, you can get tickets for that. And then if you're not able to make it and you just want to make a donation, we would love to have any donations that you can send in. All three of these organizations will benefit from that. And then also for those who want to do sponsorships, I have a marketing package that I put together. And so they're able to receive some promotions, with that. But then also some of those funds will be going towards the donated proceeds. And so that's going to be a benefit for everybody. And it makes me feel great. I'm going to be able to have a great time, with some awesome people who want to give back.
Yes.
That's something that I love to do.
So. And we get to golf, so
yes.
Momma is the DC recipient of this amazing Drive to Thrive. And we are super excited to get on the green and, start golfing. We were talking about just, I was thinking about golf as it relates to healing and, because you have to be quiet and, it's so beautiful out and everyone is dressed and, just
absolutely.
I'm super excited about, bringing it to our community and offering our youth an opportunity to learn how to golf, Yeah.
Well, I recently joined the PG County Women's Golf League. There's one here at the golf course where we'll be at Paint Branch Golf Center. Golf complex is what they call it. And so, going over there just to, like you said, be able to enjoy the outdoors, have a nice relaxing afternoon, hang out with friends, have some conversation, and get in some good exercise. Because let me tell you, okay, don't sleep on the golf drive.
Okay.
When you go out there, I was just out yesterday and I took my son out for the first time and he loved it, just natural, and it made me sick because he hit more than I did, but I know, right. But had fun with that. And I felt it this morning. I was like, okay, yeah, I really did do some driving. Okay. But you get a good workout with your muscles. Yeah. It's not high impact. It's not a lot of strain and stress. It's very relaxing, but it is healthy for us.
Yes.
To be outdoors and to be able to enjoy the environment in that way. So I'm hoping to promote that more amongst women. I've got a lot of guys who have joined and are going to be participating in this event right now. And I'm looking for my sisters to come and kind of pull up with me so that we're able to, be there and to enjoy this space and to have a good time, playing around, whether you just decide to come and do the golf drive, because there's a driving range right behind where we're going to set up for the party, or you actually want to go do the course. And it's just a 9-hole course, so it's not a full course. But it gives us a nice opportunity to get out and play. We have sponsors for every hole. There's still a few hole sponsorships open. And so I'd love to have anybody who's interested to reach out for that.
That is super exciting. I am excited, like you said, to exposure, the opportunity, to venture into something different, and I was just talking about change and that kind of thing. And we love to go out and, have a cookout and picnics and all that kind of stuff. But like you said, this is something that you're going to be able to get your body moving and exercising. I've been into, I've always been into like health and exercise, but I'm not gonna blame it on the pandemic. But I have been, moving around a lot more and focusing on being more active. So just excited about that, and definitely want to, those who are watching, definitely want to thank you all. William, thank you for watching, and Kevin, thank you for watching. We have some comments, say great talent. But just super excited about, being able to talk about the financial piece and what it looks like. Because I know we touched it a little bit with Karim. I want to tie that in because, we are business, right? I always say I am money. I don't spend money. I circulate it.
Okay, so we got to get the quote right. Okay. Jay-Z said, what? I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman.
Man, exactly.
Do we get that? Do we get that? Because one of the things that I really focus in on, even when I do my financial planning one-on-one with my clients, it's an opportunity for them to recognize how they are handling their business. Their personal business, how you handle your personal business. And see, when I work with business owners, we have to start there on the personal side first, because those habits will carry over into how you manage your business. And so getting those personal financial management habits under control is absolutely essential on the front end. And so making sure that we've got, an understanding of how to manage those different areas, our cash flow and credit and savings and investments and our insurance, what do we have in place? How have we laid that foundation? How are we building our financial house? Is it a solid foundation so that we can build a strong structure? Or are we building on sand and it's going to crumble? We think about the three little pigs. we don't want a house on sand, and we don't want a house of sticks. We want to still build on solid rock, and to make sure that we're building with bricks, so we can grow up and be strong and make sure that we've got a solid foundation, not only for ourselves and our current lifestyle, but also a legacy going forward. A lot of times in our community, we have been discouraged from that legacy. Because we were told that it wasn't important, and oftentimes I hear people say, well, I don't want to make anybody rich off of my death, but really the thinking behind that is like, my father passed away in December 2018, which brought me back to the States. And that's part of my story in terms of the traumas that I had to heal through. And in recognizing the significance of his death in my life, it was because he died with no life insurance and no will in place. And he was a double business owner. And I had to step into that with both feet and manage his whole entire life. His clients, dissolving the business, make sure that they were cared for and stuff was passed on. The equipment was sold. And then we had money to pay off any debts or anything that he owed. Paying taxes after you die is necessary, because he owed taxes in 2019. And we had to make sure that that was cared for. And those are the things that oftentimes people in our community will forget about. You're not making anybody rich when you die. If you leave them something behind, what you're doing is taking care of your final affairs and not leaving them in debt, because they've got to care for them.
And like you said, that generational wealth, and looking at that, one of the things that you spoke about, that foundation, and dealing with trauma, we talk about the importance of having a safety plan when you're in a situation, and you making sure you have your nest egg. We talk about having your nest egg and not putting, or not just falling completely back on someone. It's so important. Like, it's okay if your spouse have, this great, stream of income. It could be several streams of income. But if you're not, the head, now you can be a dependent on that, so we talk a lot about, like you said, being up on your business and making sure that your paperwork is in order, and making sure that you are looking at your records. I get a lot of people who want me to, not want me, but come and want to start a business, but want someone to do all of the work for them. And I always let them know the importance of how I did it. It was important. I'm very grateful. At the time, I was like, dang, people selfish. They not helping me. People don't want nobody else to win. And, but I realized, like, I'm thanking them today, because now I know, how to do QuickBooks. I know how to do all of those things now. I can go down DCRA, and I had to get that grind together. But also messing up finances and used to a cash flow of money coming in. So easy come, easy go, but looking at it on paper and those kinds of things. So can you speak a little bit about that with women, and what that looks like for a safety, what a safety plan, or how they can save money. Like, and I know I'm thinking of some things like, cut back on your lunch, girl. Stop buying that coffee, or them nails ain't got.
No. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm going to tell you, I'm not one of those financial advisors that will tell you cut out everything. You're not supposed to live. Oh, don't do this fun stuff. That's your lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, that's your quality of life. That's what you work for. You work hard for that. So you should be able to enjoy it. You're not putting everything in the future, because if you're miserable now trying to save for the future, you might not make it. Tomorrow's not promised.
Come on now.
So we have to make sure that we're caring for ourselves today. But in that, we have to also take into consideration, what will we need for the future? There's going to come a time, if you live long enough, that you will not be able to work in exchanging your hours for dollars. And you want to make sure that you've got the funding to take care of your essential needs, if not even your desires and your wants at that point in time as well. And so that's where we have to make sure that we are putting in the work early, so that we're able to enjoy for our future self later on. But making sure that you are taking care of yourself now. So self-care is a big thing for me.
Yeah.
I believe in self first. So I don't believe, oftentimes, again, in our community, and especially as women, we've been taught that we got to take care of everybody else first. Well, if you're doing that, then you're going to end up being depleted. Yeah. If you're serving from your cup, because what we need to do, as it's been encouraged, is to make sure that our cup is full and that we are serving others from the overflow. So we want to make sure that we've got enough for ourselves. When you start to feel like you've given more than you can manage, okay, pull back. It's okay to say no. No is a complete sentence.
Exactly.
And it's okay.
I did a speak on that before, Carl. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
But it's so funny because I did one on the cup and the saucer. You want to give from your salsa and not your cup. You need that full cup. You can get it what's in the salsa. So that is definitely a word. So yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, and that's really on Mind Your Business as well. So that speaks a lot about that. But continue as it relates to that. I just wanted to mention that that cup and that salsa. I was
no, I get it. And the visual that comes to mind for me is a fountain. So a fountain has maybe 3 tiers. And so from the top, it fills up that first smaller cup, and then it overflows into the next medium size, and then into the larger one. So we have to recognize that that's what we should be doing, and understand that we are not the source. We are a resource.
That's right.
We are a resource. And so when we say no, I'm not the one that's going to be the source for you, and I don't have access to it because I'm not being made a resource in this situation.
That's right.
So you have to go find another resource, go to the source, and maybe that will, the source will provide you a resource that you need, but it's not me. And that's okay.
And it's
okay that it's not me for right now.
But you know what? That piece right there, it's okay. I want to speak to those people out there, right? That weight is so heavy and you feel like it's not okay. Like, at the end of the day, I tell people, take me off that cross. I did not die for your sins. If you have an emergency, call 911. Okay, because to God be the glory. And I want to speak to those people, especially those one with grown children. To God be the glory, mine are grown. It's so important for us to understand that, that's not your weight to carry. I tell them I don't even carry my own weight. So it's so important for the people out there who have people leaning on them, and you feel like you have to answer every call and you have to run to everything. No, thank you. Because you're going to get what you get and don't have a fit. I'm sick of it. You're going to get what you get and don't have a fit, girl. You're going to be
I love what you talked about before. I love what you talked. Yeah, absolutely. I love what you talked about before when you were saying that people would not give you what you wanted or what you thought you needed when you were starting out your business. Yeah. One of the toughest things for me to hear, the most irritating phrase for me initially was I had a trainer, and when I first started my life insurance business, and I would go and ask about different things, and he says, "Well, I'm just gonna have to figure it out." And I was like, "That." You're going to tell me I just got to figure it out. But that has been my saving grace. Yeah. Because honestly, as an entrepreneur, you are going to start out as a solopreneur. Yeah. And then if your business grows, you're still going to be the one who's making the decisions and delegating. And so you have to be able to work on an individual basis. It's just you.
Yeah.
And even if you have a partnership, then you've got to manage what are your responsibilities, but you still have to make decisions in your best interest.
Yes.
At all times. And so we want to make sure that we're not giving up and sacrificing ourselves for other people's benefit, because that's not our job. That's not our place to do that.
Yeah.
And we're taking away their opportunity to learn the lesson and get the blessing if we're stepping in all the time to try to save them. Because I'm not the savior. I'm not your savior. But what I am here is to educate, guide, and support. I will give you support up to the point that I have that overflow. When you start getting into my cup, we're gonna cut it off. That I can't give you from my cup, because
and understanding when your cup is full, right?
Yeah, no, and that's when your cup is full.
Know. You gotta know when that cup is full, right? They got.
But we have to recognize that, because see, for many, many years, I would say almost 2 decades, I served from a half full cup. I served from a half full cup. Now that was great, because people want to ask you, is your cup half full or your cup half empty? Because from a perspective, right? And so I had a positive perspective. I was optimistic, and I was gung-ho and grand, and oh yeah, we're gonna make this happen and blah blah blah. But I was giving people, if my cup was half full, I was giving them from that cup. And so I ended up depleted. They might have had a half full cup too. And guess what? Now they ended up with 3/4, and I had a quarter of a cup.
Exactly.
Almost empty, because I'm trying to give, sacrificing myself to help somebody else get ahead. And see, we want to get frustrated with other people about that, but we have to take responsibility for the decisions that we make that put ourselves in those positions. We cannot continue to sacrifice ourselves for the benefit of someone else. You give from your overflow only. You give from your overflow only. So when you looking at your monthly bills, and you said talk about numbers, so I got some numbers for you. You're going to look at your monthly bills, and you're looking at those 10 categories of what you should be paying. And I have that listed in one of my seminars that I host. And we go through that basic budget. I've got a free basic budget sheet on my website. So when folks go and join the community, they can get access to those free basic budget sheets. That way you can write down your expenses, know your income, and then be able to understand, okay, where did I maybe overspend, or where could I maybe shift it around and spend some more in another area where it's greater needed. But being able to understand those numbers is absolutely critical, because that's where we're able to control our money, and where we take full responsibility for not only our lifestyle, but also the legacy that we talked about previously. So there's 3 numbers that I work with my clients to identify. That is first their life number. That is secondly their retirement number. And that is thirdly their net worth. That's the one most people are familiar with hearing about.
The network.
Understanding those 3 numbers is where you're able to get your goals set, and where you're able to understand, because it's necessary for us to break down. See, time is money. I also have a time is money tracking sheet, so that you can look at your schedule on a weekly basis and understand where you're spending your time, because where you spend your time is where you spend your money, right? And so we want to make sure that we're spending our time well. We are investing our time so that we can get a return, whether that's emotional or financial. And when we pay attention to that, then we're being able to benefit ourselves on every level, and so that way they're able to understand, okay, how much do I need to make today in order to cover my costs? And then what's the extra? What's the overflow for me? Because I need to make sure that I've got some extra. It's like, if I'm just living for today, then that future me has not got any money for her set to the side. But I need to make sure that I'm not going to be dependent on my kids to take care of me when I get older, that I'm not dependent on the government to take care of me when I get older, that I'm not looking out, for handouts from this place or that place. Now, if you're in that position and you have to, it's a necessity. Those provisions are there. That's where the source provides for you. But understand that because circumstances come up, and sometimes we have put in the best laid plans, but we have those unexpected situations that will come and trip us up. So I want you to know, no judgment. No judgment here. Life happens. When life happens, we have to make decisions to make make life happen in the way that we want it to, so that we're not continuing to play victim, but that we're actually able to triumph, be victorious as we're continuing to move forward. And so that's what I'm saying here. We want to plan for the best, or hope for the best is what we want to do. We want to hope for the best, but we plan for the worst. That's where our safety net comes into play. So we hope for the best. We think, oh, everything is going to be awesome. You know, when I retire, I'm going to travel the world, and I'm going to have this house, and I'm gonna have this car, and you know, I'm going to have all my dreams come true, and everything is fabulous. Keep that. You want to have that focus. You want to manifest those good things in your life. But then if and or when life happens, things come up and challenges come, it is also our perspective that allows us to take responsibility so that we're not experiencing a double trauma. So the situation happened, but we have the planning that we put in place for the finances. So now we're not hit with a money trauma because we can manage financially to get through that trauma. So when my father passed away, if I had had money saved up, then I would not have had the additional trauma of not being able to pay for his final affairs, his funeral and those expenses. You know, and that was a challenging thing for me. Yeah. You see, I know what it is to be there. So I can't judge you because I've done it. I am financially educated. I got my degree years ago from Morgan State University. So I took the classes, I passed them, and I got my paper. I got the piece of paper. But even in that, there were traumas in my life where I was unhealed. And so I was acting emotionally, and it affected me financially.
And that is big, though. That's you know, whoo, oh my gosh. No.
Take a deep breath with me. Let it go.
Oh my gosh, the emotional and financial is so connected. Oh my gosh, like you hear people like, oh, I have to do shopping therapy, or you know, even with food, you spending money.
Retail therapy is a big thing. I did that too.
Like, I'm emotional. Like, even like if your finances is not good, if I got a bunch of money, my emotions is on 1,000. Like, I'm feeling really good.
But if we already have a plan in place, if we have a plan in place and we know our numbers, then when we get a lump sum of money, we're not like, ooh, free money, let me go spend it. We're like, oh, no. These dollars already have a job. Let me put them in position so that they can work for me. Because I have a plan in place. And so that's the key. You know, it's I know even for myself, you know, I've done my numbers a couple of different times. And, you know, about my birthday time every year, I do like I do with my physical checkup, I do a financial checkup. And so that's what I recommend for everybody. You know, I make that comparison about the financial and the medical field because it is so similar and absolutely understandable. It's relatable for us. See, you would not make a self-diagnosis and then go, you know, pick some, you know, weeds and berries out of the grass to serve yourself and say, okay, I'm cured. No, that ain't gonna happen. If you have a medical issue, you're going to the doctor, and hopefully you're smart enough to go on an annual basis to get your checkup. So even if nothing is wrong, you can get that confirmation and have the confidence. Confidence to continue moving forward successfully. Same thing with your financial advisor. You want to be able to have someone who is your financial general practitioner. They will look at all of those areas, checking your, you know, checking your numbers, like your blood pressure and your sugar levels and your, you know, your reflexes and things like that. Well, we need to check your life number and your retirement numbers and your net worth to make sure where you are right now and how you have set your goals where you need to be. To give you a good gauge of your standing so that you can move forward with confidence. And that if there is an issue, then we can make a recommendation, because I personally have a network of financial advisors. I am not an expert in everything. Just like a doctor, I have my practice. You know, I am your general practitioner. There are the checkups that I do for you. I'm a specialist in some areas. So my specialty is life insurance. And I also talk to people about their business development. But then there's other colleagues of mine who I have relationships with, and I can make referrals.
Right.
to realtors for real estate investment, or if you're doing, you're looking to purchase a home, to a credit repair service so that you can have a healthy credit report. Can we talk about that? Our financial health, making sure that it looks good on paper and so that we feel good about ourselves, in real life. Making sure that you've got someone who is an investment manager to give you the right advice about the types of investments that you need to be making, whether we're talking about the stock market or the digital market, or, whatever it is you want to do, understanding your options so that you can make the best choices for yourself. That's what education is about. Understanding the options, because it's only then that you can make those choices. Say, oh, you know what? I feel a little risky. I'm secure over here, but I got this money I want to play with. And let's see if we can get it to grow over here. Then you can do that because it's the extra. But don't take your rent money and put it on some crypto and say, oh, we can hope to double it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not that. Right.
Yeah, it's that growing up as it relates to how our money, works for us. Is so important. I'm not gonna say I'm new to it, so I'm used to kind of like flipping money, that kind of thing. But it's
that's
different.
cash flow.
Yeah, it's different, when you buy a product and you're gonna double your money on it, but it's different when it's like a thing that's out there. It's like residual income. Like as an author, I have a book and it's like residuals. Right. Yeah, as you do speaking engagements and you attach a cost of how many books that will be with it, those types of things that can generate different streams of income is what I try to promote with people, like what you were saying. I'm a true believer in that as it relates to, and having heaven on earth, and really living today is so important. But also, like you said, you definitely want to make sure you have a safety net where you're not like taking the money that you need and splurging with it. But what I try to do, because it's certain things that I like to do. I love to do my own hair. I can do my own hair. Put my lashes and my nails. It's something that
self-care, right?
My self-care. And I say, what I'm gonna do is just get a stream of income, right? That's gonna take care of that piece for me. And that's what I try to get. What I try to educate when we in our support groups with Mama Safe Haven 50 Strong. We created a 50 Strong group, calling on Black women and women of color, Black mothers. And our goal is really to share information, tips, and tools to progress, right? And that financial, and I know we spoke about upcoming workshops and things. Do you have any workshops already planned? And I know, like I said, we're planning some to do, but do you have any workshops? And I know you have information where someone can follow you and get more information about what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have a workshop coming up next weekend. It's actually a workshop that's based on a book that I've recently written. My book is going to be launched on my birthday. And so I'm very excited about that. It is Time to Thrive, which is also the name of our golf drive. But it's about transforming your mind and transforming your money to thrive. And I deal with the 5 areas of mindset awareness, as well as those 5 areas of money management strategy, so that folks are able to find the balance for themselves, to understand what does that really look like doing the work,
So the title of your book is Time to Drive?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. It's the TYM, transform your mind and transform your money 2.
Oh, so I didn't do it right. Did I spell it right? Time to Drive?
Time to Drive. Nope. It's TYM 2 THRIVE.
Oh, you say
TYM, the number 2.
Okay.
And it's THRIVE. And you guys will see that when you go to the website for the golf drive. It's the Time to Thrive Golf Drive. And the workshop for next weekend under the event section on my website is the Time to Thrive workshop. And it's about just that, transforming your mind and transforming your money to thrive.
Yeah.
Because but it takes for us to get that mindset right in order to understand how to manage our money properly. Then we can feel good about, tracking our money and keeping control over it. Oftentimes, if you find yourself, sitting down and or avoiding doing your financial, accounting, your budget balancing every month, then one of the things that I encourage is to do the More Life Mindset Reset. There is another free document on the community resources page of my website. When you go and join the community for free, you're able to get access to all of these resources. And I have a bunch of rewards, especially for business owners. I give away free stuff and discount codes and stuff like that, where folks are able to go and take advantage of building themselves up. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Building themselves up through that process. And so as you are able to take a look at the mindset reset, it is that breathing exercise that I just did. And there's a mantra that I like to have people repeat. And this mantra is sacred to me because it was created out of a need. I suffer from PTSD because of the traumas that I have endured. And that's something that I meant to mention earlier on, and maybe we can talk about that another time, Beverly. But really, in dealing with the Black community and our finances, there is a huge underlying issue that goes unaddressed oftentimes. And there's a book that's been written. It's not by me, but I love the doctor who did write it, Dr. Joy, I want to say Guay or Guy. And she is just absolutely amazing. And even the concept, because I actually came to the realization about the concept myself. I was having a conversation with one of my clients and they referred me to her book, and it's called Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. Post-traumatic slave syndrome. So understanding the residual effects of chattel slavery here in the United States and how that continues to be passed down to us. In my book, I talk about how that has had an effect even on our DNA and how, we have passed that from generation to generation, but understanding that healing process comes through consciousness.
Right.
Every healing process comes through first consciousness. If you're not conscious of the issue, there's no way that you can address it.
Yeah, you gotta
become conscious first.
And I always talk about being a part of your own rescue. Like it is so important.
Nobody's coming. So you better rescue yourself.
Like at the end of the day. And I realized that in so many different times, I always say, I describe my experience like I slipped on a razor blade and landed in a pool full of alcohol. And it was a very, it was one of those experiences that I felt like I climbed up to that razor blade and was like, I gotta get off of me. I can do it, and understanding, even having tools. It wasn't like I didn't have people to say, don't do this. So look at this example. It was like, I got it. But when you get that consciousness of understanding, like, this is not working, right? I have to do something different. I can't keep saying because this person did that, or this person was supposed to pay me, or this person knows that they, it's like, when am I going to take control of my own financial life, right? As it relates to what I want to eat, where I want to live, what I want to drive, and if I want to travel or not,
not looking for or waiting for someone to come and take responsibility of that for you. Then you give up your power.
That's it.
Don't give up your power. Take responsibility for all that you are, where you have been, how you got to where you are, and now making the decisions to go forward to accomplish your goals. Because you can create the reality of your dreams. You just have to be conscious first.
That's so powerful. So thank you so much. I said so much. I'm about to say thank you so much, Kevette.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Kevette. I'm super excited because this was supposed to happen 2 weeks ago, and I truly believe like right now is the perfect time. I'm just so excited about partnership. And just the people who are watching that receive this information, please check out Kevette's book, Time to Thrive, and all our golfers out there and those who want to really give back to a great cause. You'll really be sowing on good ground, so you will produce a great harvest for partnering with us with this amazing Time to Thrive And even for our youth, if you want to sponsor a youth to come out, I think it'd be really great to have some youth to come out and participate in it. I was actually thinking about that too.
Yeah, no, this is a 21 and over party. But I want to make sure that we
I don't know that. Look at me.
It's okay, Mama. Yeah, that's
Scratch
it. That's it. No
Scratch
kids.
No
but
children.
but at the location where we are,
you guys. Look.
it's okay. But at the location where we are, there is a children's golf league. And
Yeah,
that's one of the things that I plan to also become involved in, because what I found out is the manager of that location is actually the one who oversees the children's golf league for the entire county. And so that's very exciting to me. I mean, so then, it's about looking in DC to see, what the golf league, is there a golf league there? Are there kids who can come out and play, together with one another, learning those skills and being able to be in that environment? Because it really gives us a greater appreciation for our natural surroundings, how they design the golf courses, just the serenity of it all, and having that peaceful activity that we can engage in, that gives us an opportunity to kind of think through, many processes and to heal. It's really such a healing process, and it's so amazing, an amazing environment to conduct that. So I look forward to it.
We're excited about it. So, this has been an amazing show. Thank you so much, Kevette, for joining. We will have you back on, guys. And it's so important for us to share the information out. So please like and subscribe our YouTube channel. Shout out again to BlackUSA.News, my brother Donnie Glover. Love you so much. And to all of the other sister hosts on the network. Super excited to be a part of something that's bigger than me, right? This is the Beverly Smith Show, but it's really a show about the community and sharing information. And I'm just excited, guys, and I'm super excited about you all enjoying your day, and just like our big brother did, they tried to, tear him down and talked about him. And I'm gonna do just like Jesus, guys. We're gonna just keep on rising. Okay, so we're gonna rise all the way up to the top. Thank you so much, Kevette. I will definitely be in touch with you guys. Definitely talking about our workshop that's coming up for our mothers. And then your workshop you have Saturday. Give them the information where they can get that, be a part of your workshop Saturday.
Okay, so Saturday, if you go to MarimorLife.com and go to the events section, if on the first page, if you scroll down to events, or even if you put in MarimorLife.com/events, then all of the events will come up. You'll get the information for the Time to Thrive workshop, as well as the Time to Thrive golf drive. And so you'll be able to participate in any of those things however you can. Even if you're not able to make it, again, we would love to have your donations. Donations are available in the smallest increment of $9. And that's because we're doing 9 holes in the golf course. And so that's $1 a hole, for that process. And so we have already received, a number of donations, are very grateful for that, and look forward to all that anyone is able to offer.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kevette. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone for watching. Stay tuned. See you all next Sunday, and have a blessed week. Blessed.
Take care.
Yes, thank you.